When you think Manitoba, you may imagine long straight roads and canola fields, but do you also think about black bears and Shetland sheep, alpacas, and gnomes? We had some of the best opportunities to see the woolly goodness of this province and explore all that nature has to offer. So come enjoy a Manitoba summer with us, mosquito-free. Hi, Toaster. Can you say welcome to Manitoba?
Good morning. It's our first day here in Manitoba, and we are starting out with a bang because we are about to go tour a sheep farm that has been highly recommended to us, so I am so excited.
Meet Anna Hunter. We started by talking about her history in the yarn industry. She started out with a yarn store in Vancouver called Bad Anna's, which she calls a 100-mile yarn store, meaning that they focused on bringing in yarn that was grown within 100 miles of the shop. After they had kids, Anna and her husband Luke decided to move to Manitoba.
And Vancouver just was like not a city that was working for us anymore.
Yeah.
We wanted our kids to have a relationship to their food and their clothing. So we moved to Manitoba, which is where my husband's from, and we started this farm.
Wow.
So we've been here for exactly 10 years.
Wow.
Pretty much everything we've done, we've started from scratch and figured it out as we go along.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then in 2018, we opened up our mill. And that happened because we just realized the problem, the reason why I couldn't put any local yarn in my store, the reason why we couldn't find local yarn anywhere was because there's no infrastructure.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, the best way to solve that problem is to build more infrastructure. So we started our mill. You guys can come on in.
All right.
So we raise Shetlands.
Okay.
They're a heritage breed. They come from the Shetland Islands. They are a smaller, like physically they're a smaller breed. But what makes them super unique is that they have 11 distinct colors within the breed.
Okay.
So as you can see in my flock, we've got black and brown and tan and fawn, and we don't actually have any white, which is really interesting because the majority of sheep flocks all throughout Canada are white. So we really love the variety of the color, and the wool has just so much versatility. These are our girls and our livestock guardian llama. And then in the back, we have our rams, our boys.
Oh my gosh. They're so sweet. I'm seeing a couple little lambs, like maybe
so we have 6 from this year.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's, yes. Okay.
Yeah. This is Selena. She will love the chin scratches.
Oh, you want some head scratches too? Oh.
So one of the things that kind of happened when we moved here was, you know, our goal was to raise local wool, but we also were super curious about just the way that our farming system works in general. So I did a lot of reading and research and sort of started understanding that there's different ways to farm. And so we started regenerative farming almost right away, which basically means we're trying to leave our land base better than how we found it. So we graze the amazing thing about sheep, right, is that they're ruminants. They can take these plants that we can't consume and turn them into meat, milk, and wool.
Yeah.
And the way that we use the sheep on the land actually encourages more carbon sequestration. So you can see we have electric fence. This is kind of our like staging area, but then we use these portable electric fences and we move them every 1 to 2 days all throughout our property.
Okay.
So they were grazing there yesterday. Today, after you guys leave, I'm going to do a big, huge fence move to the other side. We graze them in the forest. We graze them on the pasture. We graze them even out in the wetland. And we move them in a way that helps the grass grow stronger and deeper roots, which then brings out more carbon from the atmosphere and stores it in the soil. And, we actually monitor the biodiversity and the health of our land. So we've seen a lot of growth in that way, which is amazing. You know, like I always say, we can use sheep, which give us this amazing product of wool, but also it can work to heal the land. So
That's incredible. So how much like acreage do you have?
right. So we own 140 acres. Like we go around this. This is our neighbors. We go around them in like a U, but we're only managing about 35.
Okay.
And our flock is pretty small, but
Yeah.
because we have the mill, we can only do so much. So we kind of said, instead of going really big and doing it all, let's just keep our flock small and manage these 30 acres really, really well. Aziz, do you want to hold this one?
Yes.
Okay, so if you hold her like a hug with her legs down, if she kicks, it won't hurt you.
Okay, so kind of like this?
Yeah, here, actually let her, there, that's the easiest way.
Oh my goodness. So what is this one's name?
This is the girl. Her name is Ellie.
Aw,
Yeah.
Ellie.
So she was one of the last lambs born.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So how old is this lamb?
They were born, these twins were born June 22nd.
Oh, so like
Yeah.
less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month.
Oh, you're so little.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the bigger ones. Like this one was born like 3 weeks earlier than these ones. So they grow really quickly.
They do grow fast.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me hold you.
So moms and babies have their own sound that they make. Like you heard her give her little call, and it's unique to her babies. So they always know where each other is.
Oh, watch out.
Other side. Yeah, we can walk out in the field. They'll probably follow us. I know it's funny, like to talk about, I run this sheep and wool camp every summer. So people get to spend 5 days like immersive in sheep and land and wool education, just kind of learning all about it. And we always start out the week by talking about land and plants. And it's funny, some of the campers this year said, like, I never knew I cared about grass so much. And it's funny, I talk about it a lot, right? But with so much of the problems we have with climate change and land use and conventional farming, it's really crucial, I think, to be using land in a way that is more responsible or more regenerative, right? Another interesting thing about Shetlands is their like color patterns. There's over 30 different unique markings that all have their own unique names. Like this one is Cat Moget because she's light on the top and then dark on the bottom. And then the one beside her is Gull Moget, which it's kind of hard to see right now, but when she gets her full fleece, she's light on the bottom but dark on the top. And
Interesting.
this one is Moorit with a little bit of, I can't remember what this little patch is
you
called.
love that. Oh, look at that tail.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell, but this is now all the areas that we grazed at the beginning of the season. So you can see
Okay.
the growth of this grass has come back.
Yeah.
So in a few weeks, we'll be moving our sheep back here, which, you know, we have more prolificacy in our plants because of the way we do it. And, you know, because of that, we minimize the worm load, like, so we don't have to use chemical dewormers. We just move our sheep every 2 days. So.
Wow. Hi.
These guys are so funny, which is why we have all this broken wood, because they just like to hit things with their heads.
They're like boys.
Yeah, they are.
They're just boys.
So this is our main ram, Kintaro. He actually, really, this is what I use to grab their bulls when they fight with them. Kintaro loves chin scratches. I don't usually, he's a very friendly ram. I won't go in there with him, but he loves scratches. And then this is our castrated male. He's just the buddy. His name is Mr. Sinister, but he's really sweet. And then this is one of our new rams from last year. He'll be going to a new farm this year. He's really lovely, and his horns are in the right shape, and you can tell there's this energy between the two of them. So he has to move on soon.
Budding.
Yeah. So Shetland rams have horns. The girls are polled. I was just writing about this, but they're actually hollow. There's like a bony core. His have, like, when they're castrated, they don't grow, but it's about a bony core about this long. Yeah, I know you want scratches. Don't get your head stuck, Lovey. Oh, you dummy. But then it's all hollow.
Interesting.
Yeah. I know. I'll rub you.
I loves it.
Yeah. So because of the horns, we don't use the electric net fencing for them. So this is the boy area. They just hang out here all summer. So one of the things that I didn't know when I started was that there are like, and maybe you've already like talked to people who do this, but like I didn't know that domestic sheep breeds could be at risk of extinction.
Oh, no.
But they actually can. There's been a handful of sheep breeds that have gone completely extinct. And, you know, part of that happens as we breed for what we want, whether that's more babies or bigger carcasses or better wool or whatever, we lose some of the genetic diversity that's been there for a long time. So when we have now started breeding registered sheep, which means we can trace back the genetic ancestry of our Shetlands all the way to the Shetland Islands.
Wow.
So what it does is keep that genetic diversity going. So he's a registered ram with very itchy ears.
I feel like you must do this all day.
Yeah, hence why my fence is falling apart. So now we breed only registered sheep, which means we're keeping that genetic. And the Shetlands are okay right now. They were at one point at risk. Now they're in a better position. Yeah. So funny, the things you don't know as a knitter, right? Like, including myself, right? Yeah. No idea that sheep could be at risk of extinction.
Absolutely.
And which is part of why when I started basically with the business, focusing on breed specific. So looking at all the different breeds that are out there and because when we look for breed specific wool, it inevitably supports small farms because it's only small farms that are doing those sorts of at-risk flocks.
Yeah. What made you land on Shetland? Was it
honestly, it was that there was a local breeder who was willing to sell them to me.
Yeah.
Which I felt like was a big risk on her end because I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
And also they were a small breed. And because I didn't know what I was doing and our kids were small, we didn't want a really big breed that might be harder to handle. So this is why we chose Shetlands. But to be honest, if I could do it over again, I'd probably still choose them. They're really hardy foragers. Like, as you can see, this is all we have for them in the winter. Yeah. They can survive. They do really well. Our land is very low. And as the foxtail is demonstrating, we have an over-salinated. So foxtails actually have when it dries, it becomes a barbed weed. Oh. Like so it's actually pretty bad for the sheep because when they dry, they get stuck in their wool. Oh, yeah. But this is an indication of over-salinated land because we've had so much drought lately. The foxtail has showed up. And what it tells us is there's too much salt in the land. We need more water. We need a better flow of minerals in our cycle, which we don't have because of this drought. But the advantage of the Shetlands is that they're so hardy and they're such good foragers that they will thrive even when our land is struggling. So part of it is, fitting the animal to the land, which I didn't know in the beginning, but here we are.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Anna shared that before opening the yarn store in Vancouver, she was a legal advocate. So teaching people about the Canadian wool industry has come about naturally.
Farming and the wool industry has been no different. And as I got into the industry and sort of started understanding the challenges that we're facing with our industry and how it's changed and how like the offshore exporting of all our raw materials, including wool, and the loss of the value of wool in Canada and our total destruction of our processing infrastructure in our textile industry, it's really motivated me to figure out how we can do it better. So one of those ways has been by valuing wool again. But, a lot of farmers are just throwing away their wool. It's not worth anything. Before COVID, 90% of all our wool was being shipped overseas. Most of it sold to China, where it would be processed and then we'd never see it again. And farmers were making less than 35 cents a pound, which in today's climate doesn't even cover the cost of shearing. So a lot of farmers were just burning it or composting it or throwing it away. And as we got into the industry, we were like, how can we change this? And the first thing we need to do is value wool. So that brought us to wool pellets. Have you heard of wool pellets before?
Very like small. Like I know they can be used for a variety of things.
Right.
Okay.
So basically what we do is we take the wool that is, it started out as us taking the wool that was too dirty to process in the mill, and we would run it through these machines and it would become fertilizer.
Okay.
So those are some wool pellets. So it's
this is all from the fleece.
This is all pure wool. It's raw wool. There's nothing added. And it's just, so this machine is a chopper. So we throw the wool in here and it chops it up. And then we take the chopped wool that kind of looks like this when it's done.
Interesting.
And we throw it in here and it pelletizes it up. So we started pelletizing it and it becomes fertilizer. So you can throw it back in there. So when we pelletize wool, when we use it as fertilizer, it adds nutrients to our soil. Like, you know, wool is 50% carbon. It's adding that back to the soil. It's adding nitrogen and potassium and sulfur and copper and zinc and all these other good things for our plants. But the big thing is its water retention capacity, because wool can hold on to 30% of its weight in water. It actually holds on to moisture better in our soils. So it reduces the need for irrigation. It reduces runoff.
Wow.
And it is, you know, keeping waste out of our waste streams. So we started just pelletizing just the waste wool in our mill, but then it was so successful that we started buying wool, waste wool from farmers. And then when farmers heard how much we were paying for it, which is $1 a pound for the garbage wool, they were like, well, we'll just sell you our entire wool clip because you're paying 3 times higher than what we're getting commercially.
Yeah.
So, so it was like this little step to revalue wool. And then I heard that the city of Winnipeg was using polymer, like hydrogel, to hold on to water in all their gardens, like all the city green spaces and the flower beds and all that. So I approached them and I said, you know, I've got a potential solution that isn't a polymer-based, you know, water retention tool, but actually natural and biodegradable, plus a fertilizer, plus it comes from Manitoba sheep farmers. And so now the city of Winnipeg is testing out our pellets, and they've had huge success. Yeah. So, you know, for me, this is perhaps revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
Because if our biggest first step is valuing wool, making farmers see the value of their wool by compensating them adequately, right? Like, why would a farmer work harder to make wool cleaner if they're only making 35 cents a pound?
Right.
But if we can get wool at this stage into the city green spaces of every city and every jurisdiction across the country, we could immediately inject more money into the pockets of Canadian sheep farmers. We could replace other like synthetic fertilizers and things in green spaces, and we could like provide local rural jobs. So this is like sort of my first step to revolutionizing the wool industry in Canada, is like innovative steps like this to revalue the wool.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we naturally dye all our yarn.
Okay, wow.
And so this is my outdoor dye studio, again, in state of disrepair because I was like frantically trying to get all my stuff dyed for the Folk Fest.
Yes.
So I do a lot of teaching here as well. I have natural dye gardens throughout the farm, and this is where we talk about how to do the natural dyeing. And, you know, it kind of is in line with our values on the farm, which is that everything starts from the ground and goes back to the ground. So, you know, when my dye baths are done, I literally just use the wastewater back on my gardens, back on my plants. Yeah.
Wow.
We try and cycle as many things through as we can.
So what are you using like most to dye? Like what, flowers, I guess, or?
Yeah. Let me see. I have my little rainbow here. So a lot of the dyes, my favorite is indigo. Yeah. So this is like, this is my sample, but indigo is like a very magical dye. It's a green plant, and you actually have to extract the pigment out of the leaves. It's not like all the others that are water soluble where you just boil them up and the colors come out. This is one of the plants I grow. This is Dyer's Coreopsis. We can do a lot of yellow and orange in Manitoba. Wow. Let's see. This is Black Knight Scabiosa. This is one of my favorites. It's kind of a fun color that we've started playing around with a lot. This is goldenrod, which is an amazing color that literally grows in like every ditch. We don't plant this. We just actually harvest it from all the ditches around our property. And then this is one of my fun ones, madder root. So it's this plant you have to grow for at least 3 or 4 years before you can harvest the roots and get the pigment out. And that makes just a lovely red. Some plants we can't grow here, like cochineal is a bug. It's a hard-shelled beetle that grows on like prickly pear cacti. So that grows in more tropical regions. We can't do that here. But that's a fun natural dye. And then purple is logwood from the logwood tree, which is also a tropical tree that we can't grow here. So that's, we grow about 70% of the dyes we use, and the rest we get in from supply stores. So this is our I call this grassland. It's my signature yarn, which I buy. So as you see, we only have 30 sheep, so we don't have enough to keep us going. So we buy wool from farmers all throughout Western Canada.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, this is white. So.
Yeah. So this is our grassland. It's a range wool. So, all the stuff I was talking about with land management and carbon sequestration, that happens best on large, vast grassland ranges, like what we have in Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So this is a blend of Targhee and Corriedale wool.
It's so nice.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
I know when people are like, Canadian wool's not soft, I'm like, feel this.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
really
lovely.
nice.
Yeah, so I'll quickly show you the mill, but again, it's all... So when we realized there was no processing in Manitoba and that we needed a mill, we just started looking around. We discovered that it was going to cost us a lot to build a brand new building. And we went to Belfast and we saw their machinery and we were sold on it, like the versatility of their machinery, the ability to do small scale. And, part of our desire in the beginning was to really meet the need of other farmers who didn't have access to processing, right? We only had custom woolen mills and Briggs & Little and McCausland's, which are these bigger mills, and they have bigger minimums. But what about all the small sheep farmers that want to do small batches? So that was our motivation to open up our mill, and we could fit it in our garage.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we've kind of we really need to grow. We need more room. But it's been working for 7 years. We've been able to process a lot of wool.
Wow. So you're processing yours and others.
We process our wool from our flock. We do about 25% processing for other sheep farmers. And then we buy about 5,000 pounds of wool from other farmers every year that we then process, and then it's our label. Yeah. So we process it, put it under our name, and then dye it and sell it.
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, our goal is really to provide a service for sheep farmers, but also to put more Canadian grown and manufactured wool into the hands of crafters, of fiber artists. Because we were short on space, we were like, how can we store all this wool and have a yarn shop? So we bought the decommissioned Seacan trailer and turned, the back is all storage, which you'll see it's total chaos. Don't shoot that. And then we just turned the front into a little bit of a yarn shop.
This is great.
Yeah. So this is the part that we took out yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, we rolled it through the grass when we got it out, so it's way dirtier, but you can see how it's just like the teeth are all, So
it's like
that's what we took out and added a new one.
Yeah.
We really focus on that traceability and that breed specific. So the biggest thing that I actually offer is a breed study where every month people can either get 100 grams of yarn, breed specific. So this is Dorset, which is a meat breed, but like feel it. It's totally lovely, right? Or they get 4 ounces of spinning fiber. So like this is Shetland, right? This is actually from my flock. And then I include a breed card that talks about the history of the breed and then how it's best used. Because, I owned a yarn store and I probably only could have told you the names of 3 sheep breeds out there, right? Yeah. I owned that yarn store for 5 years. Yeah. And that's really a challenge, is that everyone thinks merino is synonymous with wool, but there are so many amazing breeds. Like feel this one. This is Border Cheviot. And now it is a little bit more rustic, but it
not
is
so much.
full of body and bounce. This is
Wow.
actually what we use in our wool pillows because it doesn't felt very easily and it has that robust bounce to it.
Yeah.
So part of the breed study is to just really introduce
So
people
cool.
to different breeds and how they can be used.
That's awesome. So is that kind of a subscription where you get a new
it's
thing
a
every
monthly
month?
subscription.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So a lot of, like I have Shropshire, which is a meat breed, Tunis, which is a meat breed, Border Cheviot, Shetland, Jacob. So I do the breed specific, and then I have my lines of yarn that are all naturally dyed.
Wow. So which ones, are there any skeins from your farm?
These are the only two
Shetland?
left I have right now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping to, this is Dolce de Leche.
Uh-huh.
That's what and this is Maisie. It's not written on there. And then of course, like the education stuff has really been my other focus. So I wrote the 2 books. I wrote the first one, I wanted to tell, it's like my love letter to the Canadian wool industry. It's like stories of sheep farmers doing really innovative things with wool. Wow. And then my book that just came out is more of exploring the industry and historically what's happened and where we're at today, and trying to put forward some ideas on how we could do it better.
When we left the farm, we were just 15 minutes away from the longitudinal center of Canada. This is kind of a fun little stop. They had some areas where you could do a picnic and these giant Muskoka chairs. And yes, we have since learned that these are not Adirondack chairs, they are Muskoka chairs, and they are different.
Dollar store and bought candies.
All right, sit down so I can see you better. What did you get?
I got this.
Wait.
Arrow peppermint.
Okay.
I got a Bounty.
What is that? Looks coconutty.
Yeah. An O. Henry with Reese's.
And peanut butter. Oh, that's Reese's.
A Mirage.
What the heck?
And a Coffee Crisp.
I love Coffee Crisp. I'll take that one.
I don't know if any of these are like purely Canadian or what, but
Never seen them.
Yesterday we got to see sheep and a cat, and today we're going to get to see some more animals.
Believe it or not, these are our first bison of this video. We're actually going to see some more bison later on, but this is the only white bison that we are going to see. Something you don't see in every zoo is wolves, and they had a whole family of wolves here that they recently brought in from another zoo. Another fun thing they had is a walking path where you could see different dinosaurs. And they had, I don't know, at least 20 of these different animatronic dinosaurs that you could see that were huge, and it was really cool. And the animal I think that I was most excited to see was the polar bear. The polar bears that they have here at this zoo are all rescued. They were either abandoned as cubs or somehow lost their parents. Some of these polar bears are actually not from too far away in relative terms. They're from Churchill, Manitoba.
The zoo is so fun. Actually, we got to see some animals that I don't feel like I've seen in a lot of zoos before, because this is the furthest north zoo we've ever been to. But now it is time to go to our first yarn store in Winnipeg. Fingers crossed I can find some Manitoba yarn to put into my blanket.
You may have heard of Purl and Hank before from their handmade leather goods. These are made by the owner, Crystal, and they have so many things to choose from. There are little notion pouches, keychains, they have shawl belts, and even these beautiful leather buttons. They also have their own hand-dyed yarn called Journey, but since I didn't see any pinks or purples for my blanket, I did end up looking at Fireweed, which is another brand dyed here in Winnipeg. They have a nice comfy space for stitch nights here in the back and a nice big table as well. And I actually ended up back here the next day to sit and knit a little bit.
We are having chicken fries at this place called Underdogs that Kent found on Reddit. But one of the reasons that we wanted to come here is to get honey dill sauce, which I guess is a Winnipeg thing. Lots of places have it, but you found out about this place because the chicken's really good, right? It does look very good. So we're gonna try honey dill sauce, which is honey, dill, and mayonnaise. I think I'm gonna love this, and I think you are not going to love this because you don't even like mustard or dill. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like honey mustard with a little bit of dill.
Now we're headed to an area called the Forks. It's where two rivers run into each other, and it has a lot of historical significance with trade. Now it's got lots of shopping, lots of outdoor seating, and a really beautiful walking path. While we were in the city, we also went to the Human Rights Museum. While we didn't want to show anything inside, we did capture the outside, and it was a really powerful and moving experience. We ended our day at the cutest brewery called Kilter Brewing, and Kent tried a few beers while I had a coffee. Today we get to tour another farm, Springfield Alpacas. We're at Springfield Alpacas today in Cooks Creek, Manitoba, which is just northeast of Winnipeg, and I'm with Marianne, who is the owner, and we're gonna go see some alpacas. We're gonna give them some, is this food or like treats or like?
Yeah, it's alpaca ration.
Oh.
So it's got all their necessities for healthy eating and that.
Oh yes, look at they're coming. So they have like, their legs haven't been
Yeah,
sheared.
We keep the hair long on the legs so that the flies will stay away.
Oh,
Otherwise, they get bitten. Here, you can grab some of that.
Here you go.
This is Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
You don't trust me? How about this one? No?
Hi.
Okay. It's okay.
They'll
I'm a
come.
new person. I'll just stand.
They'll come. Oh, let's just help
Right
ourselves.
out of the bucket. I love it. So how many alpacas do you have?
We have 18 in total. We have 14 girls
Uh-huh.
and 4 boys over there.
And what kind of alpaca are they? There's different
These
kinds,
are the
right?
wakaya, right? Yeah, these are
Wakaya.
wakayas. And they've been recently shorn, so they don't have big, long coat on right now.
Yes.
I have one here who's part llama, the white one.
That's interesting. I didn't know they could be part llama, part alpaca.
Yeah. The more you stand still, the more you're they're going to come.
Don't fight, guys.
It's like 26 colors from white to black.
Wow.
So there's a wide range of colors.
So where did your alpacas come from? Because you said you've had them for about 2 years, right?
Yeah, I've collected them from a couple of different farms in Manitoba. A couple of them we got as pregnant moms. And last year we had 5 babies on the farm.
Oh my gosh.
So Georgia is a baby
Aww.
from one of them.
You're hungry.
And Faith is as well. She's over there. 3 of the boys that we have in the boys' pen, they were also born here.
So what made you want to get alpacas?
I've been knitting since I was 10 years old, and I love yarn and natural fibers. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to get into sheep or alpacas. And a lady talked me into the alpacas. She says, well, the yarn is hypoallergenic, right? So that's a good reason to knit with this type of yarn. But the animals are so gentle, and they're easy to take care of, like as a female farmer, right? So these are the blankets from the alpacas from this year's shearing.
Okay.
Over here. And then I have seconds, which, you know, we can turn into felt.
So what does seconds mean exactly? It's like the shorter pieces?
The shorter pieces, the not so perfect fiber. So the blanket is around the back and that of the alpaca, and the seconds are more like on the the back end and the legs and maybe the neck, because some of them have really long fiber. Well, that's the nice stuff. The thirds is the like guard hairs and stuff like that, around the legs and that.
So you're able to use this too for different things?
Make jar balls or insoles, things like that.
Oh, those are like nice and thick.
Yeah, those are great. Like if you're a hunter or a skier, or you have a job that you work outside in the winter, those are awesome.
And they have all the elasticity in them, which you can't really get from hand knitting. So this is nice. It's like loopy on the inside. Do you want to fill in?
It's 75% alpaca fiber, 23% nylon, and 2% spandex.
I feel like this would be something you would love, Ken. I can see you have like project bags in different stages.
Yeah.
Cut and...
It's almost like an assembly line in here, right?
This is amazing.
And a few sewing machines.
These are so nice. They're like quilted, right?
Yeah. They're
and
quilted
then they've got
and
the
lined.
longer handles, which
and
is
they
nice.
have pockets on the inside.
Oh, that's...
Now let's head back into Winnipeg to go to our second yarn store, Wolseley Wool. They carried some beautiful Canadian hand-dyed yarn like Fireweed Fiber Co., Arcane Fibers, and Lichen and Lace. We even saw some bags that Mary Ann had made. They had lots of different yarn lines to cover all of your different needs, and in the second room they had even more yarn, fiber, and a classroom space. I spotted these progress keepers from Charming Minis, and I couldn't walk away without the curling stone. It's time to try our cookies from High Tea Bakery. We're at the laundromat waiting for our laundry. So we got I think this was peanut butter chocolate chip and oat. That was the person helping us. It was their favorite cookie. And then you need to explain this one, Kent.
Imperial cookie.
It's like a Winnipeg thing or a Manitoba thing?
I don't know.
There's different ones. Like we were thinking about going to a different bakery. They do sugar cookies, but then this one does it as a shortbread cookie. But I think the essence is they have this like raspberry jelly in the middle and then some kind of icing. So we definitely need to try that. And then I got an espresso like chocolate shortbread situation. So what do you want to start with? Should we try this? Here you go.
Thank you.
Might have half now. Woo.
Wow.
That looks pretty good.
Yep.
It's very almondy. I don't think all of them are almond flavored. That's really good. I like that. I think I'm more in the mood for this right now. So I'm gonna eat this. Today we're leaving Winnipeg and we are driving, I think north, honestly. I don't really know, but we are driving again. We're gonna be going to a park and we got some snacks I thought I would show you. We got some ketchup chips, which I think you can get in the US. Hey, Toaster. I think you can get in the US in some places now, but we haven't tried them before. We got all-dressed Ruffles because last time we got all-dressed Lay's and somebody told us, no, you have to get the Ruffles. We got hickory sticks, which I'm pretty sure are like little potato sticks. We got a For Fun bar, which is like hazelnut and little crispy wafers, which I think is going to be awesome. And then a Duet. I'm not sure this one is Canadian. I'm not sure if the For Fun is either. I've just never seen them before. This one kind of looks like a Twix. It's caramel. So more treats to try. I don't think we're going to eat them necessarily today, but we have lots of driving. Oh, and Kent got more of these Imperial cookies, although these are called Diplomat cookies. And everyone has a different recipe, so we're going to try these too.
So I got something that's not like exclusive to Winnipeg, but it's very much a Winnipeg thing.
Oh my gosh.
I got a Slurpee. There's so many colors and flavors.
Whoa.
Also, everybody inside 7-Eleven was buying a Slurpee. It was kind of funny.
What's the fact you told me about like the numbers of Slurpees?
Like the 7-Elevens in Winnipeg sell more Slurpees per month than the rest of the 7-Elevens in all of Canada combined.
Which is unbelievable because it gets really cold here.
But they love their Slurpees.
We're on our way out of Winnipeg and to Hecla Provincial Park, but first we're going to stop in a few cute towns. We first drove through Gimli, which is right on Lake Winnipeg. It just had some really pretty water views and cute little hotels and shops. Next, we pulled off in Riverton because we saw that they have Manitoba's largest moose statue. And about 2 hours later, we made it to Hecla Island.
Hi guys. Good morning. We are in Hecla Provincial Park and we were here last night and we're here for just tonight, I think. For 2 nights, which is nice because we're not gonna have to move the van. So Lydia's all set up and we're about to go take a hike/walk with Little Toaster.
Something that's been so nice about many of the Canadian parks is that they are super dog friendly. And this one even has beaches that you can specifically go to swim with your dog. While Toaster really loves the sand, he does not like the water, so his time on this beach was limited. On our last morning here in Hecla Provincial Park, we woke up and it was extremely smoky, which is coming from one of the many fires both in this province and surrounding provinces. Since the smoke was predicted to only get worse, we decided to get out of there early on this day and head to our next spot where things were expected to be a lot better. I am super excited to share with you everything we got up to in Riding Mountain National Park because we saw a ton of wildlife here, like this bear that we saw right when we got in.
Good morning. Today we woke up in Riding Mountain National Park and the sky is blue here, so we're really grateful for that. And we have 3 days here, or 3 nights at least. And so we're gonna do some hiking and some driving around. We saw a bear yesterday. I think you already saw that. There are bison in this park, so I think that's the first thing we're gonna go check out this morning. We did not see any bison. Not sure where they are. I think you said they have about 40 bison, right, Kent?
I think that's what it said.
Yeah, so that's not a ton, but it's also not a huge enclosure. So we're parked on one side of it. We're going to have some lunch. I'm making cheese and crackers and some coffee, I think. And we're going to wait a little while and then drive back through and see if maybe they've moved. But we did see a bear, the same bear twice, so that was pretty cool.
Our campground is just a quick walk to town, so we decided to go in for some afternoon treats.
Day 2 here in Riding Mountain. I think we're going to venture over to the eastern part of the park today. Hopefully do at least one hike, maybe a short one with Toaster, a longer one with the 2 of us. And then tomorrow is like our last morning. We're not really spending a ton of time here tomorrow, but we think we might go back to the bison enclosure on our way out. And it's funny because I have my phone background set where it just scrolls through all the different photos of nature that I have. So it's animals and then like views from all of the hikes and things that we've been on in the past couple of years. And it's so fun to see. But this morning, the one that was on my screen is a ton of bison from Yellowstone. I feel like it's teasing me. So hopefully we get to see a few more animals today, whatever they are.
This trail ended up being so lovely. It wasn't too difficult, it had just the right amount of things to look at, you got a beautiful view of the lake, but we did see several signs of bears, and with Toaster, we wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. That night, we decided to do a sunset drive. We were really hoping we could see some moose, but we didn't end up seeing any moose. However, we did see a few more bears coming out for a late night snack. On our way out of the park the next morning, we decided to go through the bison enclosure one last time to see if we could see any of them. And oh my goodness, what a treat it was. We got to see maybe what was the entire bison herd, and there were so many babies. They were playing and being rambunctious, and it was just such a delight to watch them. Just before we left the bison enclosure, we saw one more bear and her little cub. It was really cool how many bears we got to see in this park, but I am very grateful that they were all from the safety of our car. We have one last super exciting thing that we're getting to do here in Manitoba, and that is go visit Sarah Shira, the designer of all of those cute knitted gnomes. I'm so excited because we're here with Sarah Shira, who is going to give us a gnome tour of all your amazing gnomes. Well, maybe not every single one.
No, I counted earlier this summer and I was up to 180 in the house, but I'm not sure that that's, I just made about 40 the other day. So we'll talk.
Okay.
But we can't do all of them, but we can do some highlights.
That sounds great.
So I have a cabinet. Actually, I have two cabinets. And the reason they're behind cabinets is that my cats will attack them and kill them, and it's tragic.
Yes.
So 180 isn't in no way the number I've made total, because not only have I given some away, I have lost some tragically. R.I.P. gnomes. But yeah, so and I'm now outgrowing this one as well.
Oh my goodness.
So
this is like epic.
The bottom shelf is mostly books. No, it is entirely gnomes from the book, The Gnomes of Grimblewood. So they've all been either in the book or they were samples that I used for knit-alongs or something like that. But they're all from those 8 patterns. And I knit them in 2 yarn weights so that I could show how the different sizes works. And so that people could have fun playing and see in the book right away different colors. Because sometimes when people see a pattern, they can only see it in the color the designer did. Right? So I wanted to straight up. So like, here's a quick example. These are DK and fingering weight, but they already show like that you can, I wanted people not to get locked in.
Yes.
So there's lots of book gnomes, even though there's only 8 patterns.
Good.
And then here we start, everywhere else gets much more eclectic. Like some of these are ones that have no pattern and I've just done them because I almost think of them as like doodling.
Yeah.
I just cast on because I'm bored. And like in the evening or watching a movie or sports, and I'll just start doodling a gnome and it doesn't actually end up as a pattern. Like, so this one is just really cute and worsted weight. And I just have never done anything beside let him be himself.
Yeah. Do you normally start at the top or the bottom?
I start with a hat.
Okay.
So depending on whether the hat's bottom up or top down, it depends.
Okay.
But we always start like, that's not true. I have now a couple patterns where we start at the bottom and then go upward. But there has to be a really good reason for that because most people hate that.
Yes. You like to start where it's like pleasant.
Yes, I always do. Like one of my main design philosophy points is not can it be done, but will people hate me?
Yeah. That's a good one.
So I recently did a whole little mushroom gnome.
Oh my gosh, that is
series.
the cutest. Can I,
So with gnomes, because they're tall and skinny, you have to put some weighted stuffing in there. So that's about like this much split peas, because I live in a cold climate.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Yes.
Doesn't it get too moist in the air or too many mice creeping around here? And then there's like a little cardboard in here to really help it push out. Some people skip that, but you don't. If you do it, it just really pops it out really nicely.
He's so cute.
Yes.
I think I also saw a penguin
Yes.
in there.
Yes. This is Ice to Meet You.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to do more than just gnomes and have fun. So Poppy, the penguin from Ice to Meet You, was sort of one of my, I wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
And I also love patterns that teach people new skills. So with this one, we actually did intarsia. So it was a way for me to like say, hey, it's not so hard. You just have to do a little thing at the edge. And other than that, it's just knitting. Don't freak out. And so that was that special little one. And she makes me so happy.
These are such a good way to like try out different things because it's not like massive.
Yes.
Well, I know they can be. I know you have some huge ones.
Yeah, but generally speaking, they're like low stakes.
Yes.
Right? Even if you mess up, like wonkiness is gnominess. It just makes it look more like it has its own character. So it's like, it's small, it's low stakes, and generally speaking, mistakes aren't huge. Like if you make a cabled gnome and it's wonky, great. If you make a cabled sweater and it's wonky, it's tragedy, right? So they're really fun. And so yeah, I do actually explicitly plan patterns so that I can be like, what haven't we learned yet? And so, because I do all sorts of video tutorials with them, this lets me like just go crazy and like slowly, bit by bit, we're teaching people all these different skills in a way that they don't get intimidated by. Do we want to wander over to this original gnome cupboard? This is the overflow one.
Oh my gosh.
So this one will smell much sheepier. The other one I have a scented candle in. And this one I don't, and you could really smell the difference. But yeah, I just love all of them. And I have some that are like, they're duplicates of duplicates of duplicates, like up here.
I know, with all their little legs hanging down.
But I can't get rid of them because there's something, it's almost like the more I have of them, the more adorable it gets. And now what am I going to do? But like this one is it's a prototype. And I was trying to see if a knee helped. And it doesn't help that the knee is not like, the plan was to have it here where it would bend, but it's not, it's usually kind of like this. And he just looks like really not okay.
Oh, but he's so charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are cute. These would be great like on a mantle.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I was joking when I designed this one, like there's elf on a shelf, but maybe there's gnome for your home.
Yes. Oh, that's a perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, and the very first thing I did was I actually prototyped trying to figure out if it worked with dangly legs at all on a gnome. And so I just picked a gnome I'd already knit from something else and just stuck legs on it. And I tried to see like, could we pick up a knit and knit them on? And it turns out it's really terrible to have a finished gnome
Hanging
and
off.
to be picking up and knitting. Yeah, it was no fun.
Okay.
So we didn't do that.
Okay.
It was worth sewing on this little bit on, turned out. But you can only learn that like if you try it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And then what are these guys?
So these little ones I call the sprouts. I needed a pattern for teaching toy knitting that wasn't gnome based. And so I designed these just for the class, and then I couldn't stop. So I did like multiple sizes. The first one would be too much knitting for a class. The little one was too little knitting to actually show what I needed to show. So then I designed the medium one, and that's the one we actually do in classes. But then I was like, I can't stop. So then I did this one with the little curly hair, and then where's my other? There's just this one, kind of like a little edamame like inspiration.
That's cute.
And yeah, I don't usually get to use safety eyes because the gnomes, their eyes are hidden behind the hats. So yeah, it was fun to get to use safety eyes.
They're so cute. My goodness. These are cool too.
Yeah, I went through a phase where I was designing trees.
I love that.
So hang on here. Where's my? Oh, it's not here. I have Christmas trees. Oh yeah, here's one of them. Yeah. So I've got.
That's so cool.
I've got like evergreens, and then I decided, wait, we could do like fall foliage kind of things. And then I also did an apple tree version.
Oh my goodness. That is so cute.
Yeah.
I love them. Now I want to decorate my whole house that I don't have.
Your future house.
My future house. Well, I better start.
Yeah. Well, that's what all the blankets are for, right?
I know. Oh my goodness. We're not going to be cold.
So in July, I'm hosting a knit along called Gnome for the Holidays, where people are picking a holiday and then knitting gnomes for it. So people are like National Ice Cream Day or whatever, like made up things, but I'm doing Christmas. both of my kids are sort of setting up in their own houses or apartments this year, and I wanted to do advent sets. So I'm trying to knit 50 gnomes in July. So this, I think, is up to 40.
Wow.
And it's the Naomi pattern, and I actually shrunk it down even a little bit more.
I was going to say, it's tiny. Is this your tiniest gnome?
No.
Oh.
We do have one even smaller, which I can show you in a minute, but I do have my largest gnome.
So good.
So this is from a pattern, Choose Your Gnome Adventure, where I did like 3 yarn weights. So I did, here, let's move the house. So these are the exact same patterns with just like variations in hats that were in the pattern, but this is worsted. No, this is fingering, this is worsted, and this is bulky. And that's just the difference that changing the yarn can make.
Wow.
Like same stitch count, same row count. Everything's the same, but that is a huge difference.
That is wild.
Here, I'm going to give you this to hold.
I was going to say, how heavy
Careful, there's
is
something
it?
in the middle.
Okay. Oh, wow. What did you put in here?
It's a 2-liter pop bottle that's half full of rocks.
Oh my gosh. I would say probably like at least 5 pounds, right?
I think so, yeah. But this is as
so cool.
tall as a 3-year-old, and it's really narrow and tippy. So if I didn't really go in on the weight, it was going to be difficult.
Oh, it's so tiny.
So this is Niblet, who's the smallest gnome. This is the fingering weight version. And I made it so I could have gnome earrings. That's the entire reason this one exists. But that's sort of like, this is the scope of size we've got.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so this is a little scene that my son built for me. He does miniatures and other things. And so I said, I want something where I can like let the gnomes really live. And so he's got this absolutely amazing little scene for me. It has electronic stuff. So like this will flicker underneath the mushroom box. There's the batteries can be changed, and you can, I can't remember where the light is for the house right now while we're on camera, but he made like little teeny tiny pebbles, and then he poured resin in so it looks like a stream that you can see the rocks through.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Unfortunately, a lot of my gnomes are too big to fit in here, so I've asked him for a bigger one, but he's just starting his master's, so he doesn't have as much free time as I wish he did.
I can imagine took a lot of time to plan and figure out. It's amazing.
Yeah, like he made these bricks.
That's out of what? Do you know?
Yeah, so he cut strips of foam and then shook them in a container with tiny rocks, so it texturized them.
Whoa.
And made them look like bricks.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You do something fun every December where there's a special gnome. So tell us a little bit about it.
So every December, I like to do sort of a countdown event, and I do a mystery gnome. And I really believe that nobody should be told to knit daily in December. I think that's an outrageous amount of work. So what I do instead is I send out, some days it's a knitting clue, but often it's actually part of a story that I write, or recipes, or little like coloring pages, or gift tags that you can print out and use. And so you're getting emails every day, but you're not always like knitting. But so the December gnome is like this it's become this amazing community event where we're just having fun and we're low-key exploring techniques. And often if there's like a harder technique, I'll be like, but this is optional. And if you want to just knit stockinette, do 20 rows and we'll check back for clue 4 or something like that. But yeah, these are a few of them. So like one year we had, it was going to be a green Christmas, and the little kids of the Grimblewoods were very sad about that. So they wished for snow, and they wished so hard at the magic wishing well that they turned Mr. Knightley into a snowman. And so the first thing we knit was actually the snowman. And then we kept knitting, and then we finished up with Mr. Knightley, and when he got magically trained back by the love of the community, who basically like hugged him back into himself, he didn't fully change back, so he's still got like a snowman top hat, and he's got like little snowball hands.
Oh my god!
But I just wanted to play around with that, and a lot of the December gnomes, it's a really focus on like wintry fun, but nothing tied to any human holiday, and so I get to really focus on community and just play. And it's just outrageous and fun.
You come up with the best names for your different gnomes.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's stressful. Like right now I'm trying to name the one for October. No idea what I'm doing. And I am stumped. So we'll see if I can come up with an appropriate pumpkin pun, because pumpkin doesn't begin with a G or an N. And now I'm trying to figure out what to do.
these are just so cute. Which one, do you know what years these are from?
Yeah, so this was last year. This was Nana. And Nana had, what we did is we knit a great big red cloak for her so that I could actually take pictures of her from behind, because one of the things about a mystery gnome is the mystery gnome can't be in the story until people have knit them. So then it's like they're always arriving like the last day of the knit along, and it's weird. Like, how many people can go missing in the Grimblewoods before we need to like have an investigation? So I decided that if we knit the cloak, we could then film over her shoulder or from behind, because people will have seen the cloak. So that was Nana. And then I think the year before that was Mr. Knightley in Snow Matter What. We're missing Nova. That was another one. And she got all sorts of handmade gifts. So she actually has removable hat, and you can actually switch them out. This is Leave Gnome Stone Unturned, because this little guy did go missing.
Oh my gosh.
And we needed to search high and low for, this is Newt and this is Nombleberry. And then the very, very first one was Nutmeg. And that was the adventure gnome, where we spent adventure kind of like Advent, because I didn't know it was going to be a yearly thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. These are cute. Thanks for taking us around today.
It's been awesome. It's neat to meet you in person.
Yeah, I know. And actually get to spend time together. Today we are leaving Manitoba. We're headed to Saskatchewan, and I kind of can't believe it because I feel like we did so much here and we had such a great time. I'm kind of sad, honestly, to be leaving. But yeah, we're gonna drive to our next province here in just a couple of hours. So I guess we'll see you in the next vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.